Hi, and welcome to two people that don't have their together, but we're together, so it's okay.
Oh my god.
I mean, if you really think about it, I'm alone in a room talking to myself, but I did just notice sitting here, look at my little baby hairs grow. I have like a fringe. Is it attractive? No, but I'm so proud. I look like a little bald baby boy. How's that for a gender reveal? Anyway, today we're gonna do a get ready with me because I need to become a person. I've been out of clean underwear for too long. You know when you're just there in life? Yeah, but I cleaned, I did some laundry. You know, we're getting there, baby steps. Wow. Hi, welcome to whatever this is. It is actually my mom's birthday today. Congrats, mother. So I need to like look like a person because she's here and we're gonna go do stuff. So I figured, why not do this together and just chat about life and really important things like these little hairs I'm so proud of. I'm just saying, get in here, look at these. Anyways, okay, if you're wondering, lost one already. Okay. Yeah, if you're wondering, why are we in this weird corner of your room? They have been doing construction to the front of my building forever, which makes filming anything in the week literally impossible. So we're just gonna film over here today because they so far seem quiet, but they are still like, there's really like scaffolding all the way up, and so they are still like walking around like right in front where all my windows are, where I usually film, and just like trying to film this and just like making dead ass eye contact with a construction worker. No, thank you. So if you hear banging in the background, don't at me. So to get started on what I'm actually doing with my face, I wanted to do like kind of a fun summer, maybe glowy if I can pull that off, makeup look. So I'm gonna start by priming my eyeballs because I like to start with my eyelids. So I'm gonna use Glossier's, I don't know, whatever this is, Lid Star in Moon. This is not my favorite thing, honestly, so we're starting strong. It does work as a primer, and if you love this, that's so good for you. Congrats. I appreciate, like, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Someone should. But I don't know. I got this. I'm trying to use it up. How's it going? I'm just gonna rudely cut you off and move on to me. I have been actively dying. You know how we're all dying? I've been actively working towards that. So my dog, as some of you know, looking at him right now, he lives in a box because he needed to get ACL surgery because I guess in like November, December of last year, he tore his ACL. Now, sometimes in such situations, enough scar tissue will form, or like if it's a small enough tear, enough scar tissue, I guess, will form around it that it's not like it's fixed. Once it's torn, but enough like tissue will form around it that it's not as much of a problem for them. So my vet mentioned that and I was like, hey, am I a bad like pet owner if I give it a month to like see, like, is it gonna make it worse? And she was like, not like, what they told me anyway was I could just like take the time to figure out if that was gonna happen. It did not. So we had to schedule surgery in January, which the earliest they could get him in was 2 weeks ago in May. Just also, in case you care, next I'm gonna be going in with this old crusty palette that still functions, so I still use it. This is the like Lorac Love, Lust, and Lace matte eyeshadow palette. I think I got this on like a Black Friday sale. Many moons ago. Some of you were probably not even alive. I don't know if it's that old, but I'm just gonna rub this all over my eyes. You know, I don't know, I feel like if you take on the responsibility of like a pet or a person, to me anyway, it's just like, look, if they need something, they need something. Like, that is the responsibility that I took. So what I'm getting at here is, I went back and forth on it forever about whether we should do the surgery or not, because I understand like surgery is not necessarily always the answer for things, but it kind of seemed like it was the only answer for this. And like, I talked to a couple different people who, I don't know, I felt like had a better understanding of this thing, like even just like his groomer I was talking to, and she was like, no, I know like literally a lady right now who her dog needed ACL surgery and they didn't give it to him, and they tried like water therapy, they tried basically like everything else one could try, like all this PT, all this stuff, and none of it has helped. And so she's basically spent the money it costs to get the surgery and put the dog through everything, and now they're just getting surgery because nothing else is fixed. And obviously that's like one case, I'm not trying to generalize everything, but just like from what the vet, the specialist, the groomer, like I talked to a couple people, and I was like, I think this just needs to happen. It's not just like, oh, we just did this surgery, it's fine. My dog, first of all, the range for this surgery was anywhere between, at cheapest, $3,500 to $5,000. Thor, fortunately, help me, landed in the 4,000 ballpark. So yeah, we're gonna eat a lot of rice in the future. Well, I do have to say, I have a wonderful boyfriend who I feel like adopted my child basically, because he was like, hey, I'll pay for half the surgery, because I was like, I don't know if I can even do this. Thank you, Ian. So yeah, other than my financial existence, basically, we did the thing because that's what they said that he needed. Also, side note, I'm using again another old, I'm out of date. Welcome to my 30-year-old face, just about. But I'm gonna be using this Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm gonna take Golden Ochre and maybe a little bit of Burnt Orange, and I guess while we're in here, Raw Sienna, just mix those, and I'm gonna actually, do I wanna do this? Maybe we won't. Oh snap, she's just gonna rub this on her wrist, just make a little bruise. Anyway, I think what I kind of want to do, I kind of wanted to do something with pink, maybe in like the inner corner. I don't think like a whole ton, because, you know, I don't know, we're just like gonna hang out with my mom, but oh, maybe a blue? We're gonna take, this is from the Kat Von D palette, Vida Loca. I mean, if you've been here for a while, none of this is new or impressive, but I'm going to be taking Swoon, which is this nice, like almost hot pink-esque color. And I think I'm gonna try and put this on like the inner corner of my eye, but attractively. Okay, we're just gonna have to use this big ass brush. I was gonna use like a really tiny like eyeliner brush. Wish me luck, friends, but I figure like if this looks ugly, I'll just like put it all over my eyelid, you know? I think I'm actively making a mistake, but let's just do this together while I continue to tell this really dumb story. Oh, she's gonna look sick. Not in a good way, just like an actually diseased way. Yeah. So yeah, we did the surgery, and what sucks is not only financially, but also he literally has to live in a box. I mean, like, I guess some would just crate their animals. We just got a storage bin because he can't move for 6 weeks. And keep in mind, this was before, like, this was the information I received before I went to the vet yesterday. So I went to the vet yesterday for the 2-week follow-up, and guess whose dog apparently needs literally another whole surgery. In addition to him having a torn ACL, he apparently also, like, I knew this, he had a luxating patella, which I might not have said any of that correctly. But basically what it means is like his kneecap goes out of place, and it has his whole existence. And every time I go to the vet, they just like pop it back into place, and it's disgusting. But it would always go in, and he was like putting his foot down. Everything was looking good up until like 3 days before I was supposed to take him in for his 2-week appointment. So I took him in, and I was like, hey, he's not putting his foot down like he should be. He was, and he's not anymore. And the tech came out and was like, I'm pretty sure his like knee is out of place, so I have to wait for the surgeon now to come in and look at it. And I was like, cool, 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 cool. Surgeon comes out and is like, yeah, his knee is now going out. So again, before it was going in, now it's going out, and I can't adjust it because like he's too sore. And he was like, I'm afraid that even if we like knock him out and I adjust it, it's just gonna keep happening. And the surgeon said that he was afraid initially, like maybe he made a mistake by because they did adjust it. Again, it was always going in, and so they adjusted it so that it should stay straight. And it's like going too far over, but he was like, you know, based off of the amounts that we did and all these things, like it shouldn't be doing that, and I have no idea why this is happening. And he was like, because if it was like on our end where we overdid it, that would have happened like 2 or 3 days in. It would have popped out because of the like tension, and because it happened so late, they were like, we're afraid he just like twisted it or like did something, which is why they think it'll keep happening. So the way to fix it is a whole other surgery. I am losing my mind. I just keep being like, I'm just so glad he's only 6 pounds. Like, imagine if I had like a 100-pound dog. This would be insanity. No one's getting any sleep in this house. We're all dead. We're all exhausted. And I was finally like over the hump initially, and we were like, okay, we're gonna become people again, great. No, he needs a whole other surgery. And it's also just like, he has to go through it. Like it's a lot. So that's what's happening with my dog. I hope you're enjoying this video. I'm gonna go back to fixing my eyeshadow. Okay, so I kind of like what's happening on this eye. I mean, maybe you don't, which would be fair, but I kind of like what's happening over here. I think on this end, I like made it come up too far. So I think I need a Q-tip. So anyway, I'm just gonna move this down a little, and yeah, we're figuring it out with Thor, dude. At least like the surgery for the ACL went well, is what they told me. So we're just figuring it out. We're all alive. At least he's in good spirits. And that's kind of all we can do at this point. So I think with this fluffy brush, I think what I might do is actually just go into, this is a Bare Minerals bronzer in Warmth. I think I'm just gonna take a little bit of this, pop a small amount of color into my crease, just to like give myself a crease. I don't know, I feel like we're also kind of just going through a slight midlife crisis or quarter life crisis. Hopefully, at this rate, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I just feel like if we are speaking openly and honestly, which clearly we are, because I mean, you're looking at my makeup right now. This is as real as it gets. I feel like my entire existence, up until this point, I have like made a lot of my career decisions based off of like, okay, this will keep me financial, like this is the best move for when I'm 50. Like this makes the most sense for like a long-term plan of like, hey, there won't be any gaps in my resume. Hey, this makes the most sense if I want to apply to these things. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm always making steps for like a plan that's so far away from me right now, if that makes sense. Because of pure fear of dying and just like being screwed. I feel like I've made a lot of very safe decisions, but am someone who, even when it's like a safe decision, it's like, it's not like fully safe, if that makes sense. Like safe to me is like, oh, and I know everything comes with like risk of literally anything, and like anything can happen at any point. I understand that. The amount of times I've just been like, why didn't I become a nurse? Like, why didn't I just become something stable that like, I don't know, you could just like work like 4 long ass days a week and then just be done and do whatever you want on the side. I don't know. I feel like that a lot where I'm like, man, imagine what it would be like to just, I don't know, have health insurance, just like have stable hours, like have a check you know is arriving. Like that would be wild. And again, I could have done that. That was accessible to me, and I did not make that decision to do so. And I don't regret that. I mean, I joke about this a lot, but I don't know. I think I actually, like, the older I get, I'm like, I probably would have enjoyed certain things. Like, my dad actually always wanted me, like, he was like, oh, I think you'd be a good physical therapist. And I was like, no, I don't think I want to do that because I didn't like I didn't, it's not even that I didn't like, yeah, I didn't like it, but I didn't find like math and science weren't things that came naturally to me. That doesn't mean that I couldn't do them or that I couldn't accomplish it or that like I wasn't capable. It was just like, hey, this didn't come naturally to me and I didn't like how it was presented. Like it wasn't something that I ever felt like I could excel in, whereas there were other things I was like, okay, well, I'm good at these things, so maybe I should focus on these things and do this. And it's just like, looking back, I'm like, I was smart enough, and I am smart enough, that like if I had just been like, no, I think I'm gonna go into PT, because if I actually known what physical therapists do, I think I probably would have enjoyed that. Like I'm interested in health, I like helping people, I like talking to people and stuff, like, and that's what my dad's point was like, your actual day-to-day job, you would enjoy. And I just like the way it's presented though when you're younger, like I had no idea, like how it was presented to me was you're gonna have to learn so much math, you're gonna have to learn so much science, you're gonna have to learn all this stuff and you aren't capable of that. Like that's what I felt like. So it was like, well, no, like I'm not gonna be able to do that. And like PT, like, you know, you're in school for like forever, you know, and it was just stuff that I was like, this doesn't feel like attainable to me almost. And now that I look back, I'm like, I definitely could have done that, but it's just like, I don't know, this means your day-to-day is a lot different than what you do in school. I don't know, the whole system's screwed up in my opinion. What I'm getting at here is I feel like I didn't go a lot of safe routes because I was like, okay, I want to, bottom line, regardless of whatever I do with my life, I want to enjoy it and I want to enjoy what I do on a daily basis. And that was why I went to school for film. And then the thing is though, is that like, for me, film sounded great, but when I actually like graduated and started working in an office like editing, I hated the day-to-day. I hate it so much. I hate with my whole heart. I know a lot of people say this, but I hate it a lot more than most people, I think. I hate sitting at a desk on a computer for 8 hours minimum a day. That is a waste of my life. Like I will not. I know some people enjoy that and that's so good for other people. I hate it so much. So with my anger, I'm going to apply my powder. This is a Lima. Because I didn't like the day-to-day. Again, I was just like, I want to be able to like enjoy my life. And I'd rather just like make adjustments and figure out how to get to what I want to do versus just keep doing this because it pays my bills. Now I say that, like that was truly my logic. That's what I was doing. But I guess when I look at the last like, I don't know, 5 years since 6 years since I've graduated, that I've been like technically working a professional career, I didn't really adjust to something that I actually liked. I feel like I just adjusted to something that was safe enough, but I enjoyed enough that I was like, okay, this is okay. And I understand that like a lot of people hate their jobs. I saw something that was like, the two worst feelings of the world are not having a job and having a job. And it's like, I get that a lot of people, like I'm very privileged to be like, I want to find something that I enjoy. Because a lot of people just like have to like make ends meet. And so you just like are working crappy stuff because you have kids or like something happened or like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff and I get that. I am very privileged in saying this, but like, that's what I'm saying though, is I'm like, I just don't want to hate my day-to-day existence. Like, I don't know. I'm like, is it so much, like, I'm not even asking like to be rich. I just want to be able to feed myself and like pay for my stupid dog's surgery and not be stressed all the time, enjoying what I do. And I feel like that's attainable and I feel like that's possible, but I think like, I don't know, it's just I was in a new city on my own for the most part. Like it's hard to have how to pick something that you enjoy and give yourself like the time and space to do that while also paying bills. Even if my bills were low, which again they were, and I'm very fortunate again for that like I don't have a child or I don't have a bunch of stuff, you know. But it's just like it's hard to give yourself the time and space to figure that out when you're also like, okay, but I need this much money to eat, to basically survive. So anyway, I found kind of like a middle ground of like, okay, this is okay because I could do this, I could build it to a place where then I could do other things. Like that's what I mean, is like, that's what I was always kind of thinking about, is like, there's a lot of stuff that interested me, but it was like, oh, I'll do it when I'm 50. Like I just won't have kids and I will like take on all these projects when I'm 50 because then I'll have the money and the time to do stuff. And I guess like over the last year, and I know a lot of people are like, pulling a Kylie Jenner.
Like the year of just realizing stuff, and everyone around me were all just like realizing things.
But that is like how I feel, is that, I don't know, I guess just like reflecting on during the pandemic, I was let go from my safe job as pretty much everybody was, and I was fortunate enough that like I'm okay and we made ends meet and we figured it out and it was fine. But out of that, I was able to, in like, I think September of last year, I was able to get a job that, again, on paper was like working with someone who was very high up in the like social stratosphere, if you will. Like this was a person who was like friends with all these celebrities and they were very like well known. It was all this stuff that again on paper sounded really good because it was like, oh, if I can like pull this off with you, then I could, you know, potentially expand connections wise and use these to other people. And again, the pay was really good, which was nice. And it was like, okay, this is stable and I can do this, blah, blah, blah. First of all, no! Just no! Oh my god! Okay, I'm gonna get into this into a second, but I need to keep applying makeup so that we can move along. I wanted to do some eyeliner. I think that's how I'm gonna pull this off. This is probably gonna go all over my eyelid. Yeah, you are not gonna last. I'm gonna apply this. I can't talk to you while I do it. I don't know, we'll see where this takes us. It's not anything, again, on paper, this was just like a very good move forward in said career that I have basically been building and like working towards for like several years now. This individual, I am very lucky that just about everybody I have worked for my whole life has been real. Like, I've worked for really kind, really wonderful people. You know, I was bound to run into an asshole at some point. This person was like, I was explaining stuff because like I would complain about things to like my friends, and Miranda was just like, are they kind of just a misogynistic asshole? And I was like, yes, that's fully what's happening. Like, I didn't even realize because this person is like basically not a straight white man. And so there's someone who like would take such pride. I don't think it's professional to call anyone out, so I'm not going to yet. But there's someone that took such pride in like being down to earth and like a people person. I am not exaggerating when I say this. I am not at all exaggerating. In fact, let me kind of undercut this a little bit. I would say 75%, and again, that is me making this a smaller, that is a smaller number than is actually factual. 75% of the conversations, every conversation that I ever had with this person, they would somehow bring up or like weave into the conversation how people found them very relatable. People found them very easy to talk to. Literally, do you know how many times I heard people from all walks of life find me easy to talk to and can approach me? But here's the thing. As someone who actually works for you, you are so out of touch with like any form of reality at all. Like, oh my God, this person! And like, also, I'm just saying, people talk about what they're self-conscious about. That is like human 101. If my hair is ugly, if I walk into a room of people, the first thing I'm talking about is like, I'm so sorry about my hair. Like, you bring up your hair. If you feel weird about it, you bring it up. And I was like, for you to be someone that brings this up so many times, like, we don't like, how many, like, it's so amazing to how you were capable of like weaving this into a conversation that just makes no actual sense. Like, this had nothing to do with that. And you still somehow brought this up. You clearly like know that that's not true anymore. Like, it's just not. And like, I can tell you firsthand that it's not. I was doing some work for this person, and keep it like what the breaking point was, just to like sum it up. You know, on Instagram where you can do like a sticker to have people ask you a question. They said, hey, I really want to do that. And I was like, okay, just so you know, because basically they had seen some of their friends doing it and they were like, oh, this is good. And I was like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. We can definitely do that. But this is going to take some time. So I need you to pick a day where you don't have meetings, you don't have other things going on, because this individual literally just about, not all, but just about every meeting we ever had, they were either late or they had to leave early, or they would always cut me off. Like, I would be explaining, so they'd ask me a question, I'm explaining it, they would cut me off. It was just, it was so dismissive in a way that just drove me up the wall. And like, I know, okay, the person that had this job before me lasted not even 3 weeks. I lasted 6 months before I quit. Like, maybe a little bit over that. Like, so I at least lasted pretty long, that I was like, okay, good job. You withstood it. But like, I am just not, and maybe this is, and like, I'm open to this, just being like, not a fault of my own, but just like, yeah, it's not gonna work because of this. And that's perfectly fine, because I will not kiss your ass. I just won't. It is not in my, like, I can't do it. I won't do it. Even if I know it would benefit me, I can't just like blindly kiss somebody's ass. And like, I've noticed a lot of the people that work for this individual or have continued to for longer than, 3 weeks or 6 months or however long, do that. And it's just like a way to social climb almost. And I'm like, I can't. I won't do it. First of all, you don't impress me. I don't care how much money you have. If you are this big of a dick, like, it's not impressive. Like, it's easy to like run people over and make money. Anyone could do that. I guess actually that's not true, because I can't. I mean, I hope I won't ever. That's other, like, anyway. so this individual asked to do this story thing, and I said, yeah, but because you want to respond to all these questions, because in their head they were like, let's respond to like at least 35. They wanted to respond to 35 questions, and they don't want to just respond themselves. What they wanted was for me, they wanted to tell me the answer. I would find a video or a background or something, and then I would create the answer on, like, they wanted a whole, like, for each story answer, they wanted like a whole creation attached to it. So I was like, yeah, we can do that. I'm not telling you no, but I'm telling you it's going to take time, because that's how the world works. And so they said, yeah. Again, they're just cutting me off. They're not listening to anything I say. And they were like, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. So I was like, okay, so what day in your calendar works best for you to plan this out? Because again, this is going to require some time. They told me a date. We approached the date, and I overheard them like talking about something else that they had on that day. And I said, oh, well, if you have this like long meeting on this day, I really don't suggest we do this like story thing on this day. We should move it because you won't have time to accomplish it. So we full on moved this, like the whole, like, cause you know, we're planning out a whole calendar. We moved the day of doing this to a different day when they were supposed to have time. The day comes, and I've told them, I've blocked off my whole day so that we can get this done. And so I was like, hey, so here's the questions. Which ones, like, do you want to start telling me the answers, and we'll start posting? So they told me one, and I posted it. They were immediately like, why did you post it? I didn't think we would actually start posting them now. And I was like, so when I asked you the answer to this question so that we could post it, you didn't comprehend that meant I was gonna post it. And again, I'm not actually saying these things, but I was like, what are you talking about? And like, this is literally one scenario. This is one situation. This is after months of me just like ripping my hair out. Anyway, so they tried to tell me, okay, well, I have all these meetings that I have to get to today, so let's hold off from posting and let's just post them all tonight. And I said, first of all, in my head, no, because I'm done working at 5. They were trying to have me do this at 9, so they are not on the same coast as I am. So there is a time difference. They were trying to have me work on this at 6 p.m. my time. At the earliest, they wanted me to do this. After I've informed them, I've blocked the day off for this. And I was like, no, first of all, we're not doing that. Secondly, it's bad to just blast a ton of stories up, at least at this time, with algorithm, which constantly changes. So if you're watching this in 4 years, it might have been different, but suck it. At this time, it was not a good move to post a ton of stories all at once. It makes a lot more sense to post them throughout the day. Also, it would encourage other people to ask more questions. And like, that's why I'm like, if you're just posting 35 stories at once at midnight your time, like, which is when this would have gotten up, because okay, so I was like, here's all these reasons why we should, like, that's a bad idea. And they were like, okay, I understand what you're saying, because I made complete sense. And they were like, so I have a meeting until 4 o'clock my time, so we can do a bunch of these then. And I said, okay, we can get as many done as we can during that hour. So at 4 o'clock, I was able to get 25 up. Do you understand how? Because this is the thing too, is that it's not just me making something. What would happen is I would have to make the story and then send it to them. And if they took too long to respond back to me, even though I've told them, we need time to go back and forth on this. We need, like, for all these reasons, and I'm not being paid hourly, so the longer this takes, I'm not like getting anything extra out of this, you know what I mean? If they would take too long to respond back to me, I'd lose the story. And it's not even like I could save it and then just re-upload it, because I wanted the notification to the person who we were answering to on their phone. So I couldn't just upload it as like a video. So I would have to remake every single one that they took too long to respond back to me for, even though I've explained to them, I need you to be like. So at 5 o'clock, I told them, okay, I'm done, because that's the other thing too. They had to leave at 5 o'clock to go drive. And what they were trying to tell me was, by the time when I get home, in an hour, we can just do more. We can just keep going. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Because I've literally blocked this whole day off for you, and you disregarded what I said. You didn't, like, yes, I mean, you just didn't listen to me. You just decided to do whatever you wanted and just thought that, like, I would just bend over and do it. And that's the problem, is this whole, like, relationship, that's what was expected. And, like, I didn't really think about this because, like, I'm trying to do a good job. And I was, like, honestly kind of depressed. Like, Ira told me, he was like, the entire time, like, I've known you for our whole lives, I have never seen you so stressed out as you have been in the last couple months. So, like, with working with this individual. So I told them very politely, you know, we've had all day to, like, again, I don't remember how I phrased it, but I tried to phrase it appropriately so it wasn't, like, insulting or anything, but I was like, you know, we've had the whole day to do this and it was not done. So, like, we've gotten this many up. If you would like to continue answering them, you can do so, but I am done work for the day. That's it. So the next morning, and also keep in mind, I have informed this person of this. Stories only last 24 hours. They know this too, like, they are on the internet. You're aware of this, that stories only last for 24 hours. And so the next day they are trying to text me and be like, hey, so can we just keep going? Can we keep adding more? Can we keep posting? And I was like, no, it's gone. That's why I told you, like, it's like, we can't keep responding to it because it's gone. The story that you would be responding to is gone. And you know that, like, I told them all this beforehand too. That's what just, like, drives me the most insane, is I was like, all of this I warned you about. You just don't listen to me. So anyway, I called them because I didn't want anything to get lost in, like, text translation, because I had been afraid that that had happened previously. Call this person and I explained to them, hey, so this is what I was mentioning, that it only lasts. And so they start literally yelling at me. They're like, maybe not yelling is the right word, but they were a very aggressive in tone. That's probably more correct. Borderline. I don't think it was quite yelling, but it was not professional to start going off. Then why didn't we finish last night? Why didn't we do more last night? Why did you stop working last night? And again, I can't. There's only so much crap I can take from an individual, which might be, like, my own fault, okay? Maybe that's, like, a bad reflection of me, but I don't care. I will not, okay? I will not. I will take a lot of BS from someone. This was the final, I already have taken, that's the thing too, this is literally the last interaction. Imagine months of this. I was done, and I was like, okay, if we're going to be, and I don't remember how I started this, but I flat out said, I was like, you do not, I was like, I don't feel you respect my time. And I said, I'm not sure of how you felt it was appropriate for me, without any conversation beforehand, without any warning, after I have told you that I have blocked off my entire day to accomplish this, that when you disregarded that I should just continue to work into the night without any extra pay, without any warning beforehand, that it is just expected of me to continue to do that. This mother has the audacity to tell me, you're putting words in my mouth.
Gaslighting is a modern colloquial term meaning that you are being manipulated within a relationship.
I almost lost my actual on this person because I was like, how the am I putting words in your mouth? That's fully what you just said. Why didn't we just continue working into the night? I wasn't, like, being aggressive. I was literally saying it like that. So I'm not sure of how it is expected of me to, like, this person was losing their crap. I was like losing it mentally, and was, again, trying to be a professional individual and not do that, and we ended it. They wanted me to keep working. This is what drives me the most insane, is that this person asked me to keep working, like, they wanted me to keep working for another month to give them a transition period, and I said, you can have 2 weeks. That's a good middle ground. I do not have any desire to continue doing this. This person didn't even pay me for my full 2 weeks. They literally still owe me $200 to this day. And they literally had the balls and audacity to send their assistant, not even themselves, after later, like, literally when we were in LA the other week, I get an email, and she's like, the person that emailed this is really nice, which is why I was like, I'm just not even going, I just don't even want to I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I want to never have to think about you again. Like, this person was so traumatizing to me, because that's the thing, is, like, the whole time, when you're working for yourself and you are the only person involved in this, it's really hard to tell, like, do I suck? Like, am I actually the problem here? Because that's the thing is, like, if you're making me feel like I'm not working hard enough, or I'm not doing this, or like maybe I am the issue, like I'm open to that being a reality. But I would like tell people like, this is all the stuff that I did for this person. Like I worked so hard to get all this stuff done. And it just like, there was never any like, hey, great job. And the thing is that this was not only done to me, this is just how this person operates. And I would see it happen to other people, and that's also what bothered me, was I was like, I'm not okay with you doing this to me, much less others. Like, this is just so screwed up on so many levels, that like, this is how you operate, and then always talk about how people find you so down to earth. Like, suck my dick! Anyway, I'm over it, clearly. So they had their assistant, oh look, my eyeliner. It's already transferring, baby. Ooh. But anyway, they had their assistant email me and ask me for files. Keep in mind, these are all things I have already given them. And I was like, there is no, like, you literally owe me money right now. You owe me $200 and you're still asking me to do more work for you? You're like, no! And I told Ira about it, and he was like, I would just tell the employee, there's been an issue with the last invoice as you have not finished filing it and paying it, so let's cover that first. Like, I don't know, he had a proper way of saying it. And I was like, truly, that is probably what I should have done. I just didn't want to deal with anymore. I just like, it's just not worth it to me. I was just like, yeah, I've sent all this stuff. No. And was trying to be polite, because it's not her fault that she works for like the worst person alive. So what I'm getting here is I quit a well-paying job. I did not kiss ass where I probably should have if I wanted to move up a certain career path, blah, blah, blah. And I would do it again. So anyways, I'm applying Covergirl Mascara. And I'm not doing a good job of it. Oh my god, I need a clean mirror. I have not regretted a thing. It's just like, that's what I mean. It was stressful, it was hard. It made me like doubt a lot of things, which I just don't think is like right or fair. And it's just, I don't know, that's what the world is like. But the whole time I just remember saying like, I at least have like people in my corner, and like people that, I mean, I don't know, maybe they're biased, maybe we're all wrong, but I at least felt like I have a good support system. Just imagine, like, because again, they're not just doing this to me. It's like, you're doing this to a lot of other people, and what if they don't have the same support system as I do, or a ridiculously high self-esteem like I do, that like, even when you make me feel crappy, I'm still like, I think you're wrong. I'm glad it happened, because it did make me kind of take a step back and be like, do I really want to keep working for people like this? Do I really want to keep doing this kind of work? Because the problem is with this kind of work is it's so personal that even if someone was sane, even if someone, like I still do it, and I have had a lot of really great clients who are such wonderful, kind people, but it's really personal work. And it's just, it takes a lot out of me because of how personal it is. Even when it's good, it's still stressful, it's still a whole thing. And I was just like, I don't think I really want to do this. And especially like, if the goal is to get to this level of clientele, and I know I shouldn't like stereotype that everybody is going to be like this at this level, but a lot of people are. And like, that's what I mean, I'm not willing to deal with that. Like, I have no desire to interact with you, I have no desire to have you in my space, and so I won't. And it's just like, I don't know, I think it was good because it made me take a step back from literally all that kind of work. And I was like, I feel like if that hadn't happened, I would still be doing that and still be stressed and still on a path of like, yeah, one day I could expand this and I could hire people and I could turn this into a bigger thing. But I don't think I would actually be happy doing that. And like, that's what I guess I kind of ended up with, was like, I just took some time to be like, is this even what I want to do? Like, at all? Does this bring me any amount of joy? And I just feel like the answer really is no. And I just think I was doing it because that's what I mean, is like, on paper it made the most sense. When you talk to people, it makes the most sense. Like, even like, I don't know, I feel like I'm really not trying, like, I really don't care what a lot of people have to think. But even people like that, like myself, I'm like, to some degree you do. You're always thinking though about like, what your family's gonna think, what your friends are gonna think, like what people like, even if you don't care about the general public, it's like, you still have people you're like, oh, if I do this, am I a failure, am I whatever? And I guess like, I don't know, maybe I'm spiraling. That's an option, always. I guess I just feel like I have spent my whole life figuring stuff out. Nothing has ever, I mean, I've had a lot of like very wonderful people. Again, I've been very fortunate in so many ways, but nothing has ever been handed to me. Like, I did not come out of the womb with any form of contacts, any form of money. Like, I have started from zero. And I think it's important to recognize a lot of people start at a negative number, okay? So starting at zero is not the worst. If I've spent my whole life figuring this out, why am I like working so hard to figure stuff out that I don't really care about? When I just feel like I am smart enough and I am like, people like me enough. You know, that one person can, again, suck it, but for the most part, people like me. You know, like, just why am I working so hard at all these things that at the end of the day, I just don't even know why I'm doing it or who I'm doing it for or what is happening. And in your 20s, you are basically doing everything for others. You're trying to work on all this stuff to prove to others this or to prove to something and you don't even really know why. 30s are really about doing stuff for yourself. I guess that's how I kind of feel. Is I was like, I think I'm always just afraid I'm gonna be like, I don't know, I'm afraid of all these things that just really don't matter, because at the end of the day, I know I'm smarter than most people. Like, I know I'm funnier than most people. I know I have a lot of things to offer and I'm a harder worker than a lot of freaking people. So why am I like afraid of just like doing things for me and like things that don't necessarily, like, I don't know. That's what I mean, is I feel like my whole life I've been kind of like on the fence of like, I'm gonna do something creative but not fully do it because I'm afraid of like not being able to pay for things, because that is a real reality. I guess I've just been trying to do more things that benefit me and like not worry so much about the future, and I think you should do the same. Yay. So moving on to final thing I'm gonna do with my face. I'm gonna use this, this is the Clarins Lip Comfort Oil. Full disclosure, this was gifted to me, but I picked it out. I picked this color. I'm very excited to use it. I've actually used it a couple times, so this is nothing new, but I really like this because it's like hydrating. And again, as someone who has not done laundry in a while, I've not applied, you know, chapstick either, so my lips need it. And it's just such a good, just like easy gloss. I mean, I guess I could have put this over something, but I feel like it looks nice just like on its own as well. I don't know, I'm trying to go for like summery glossy. Do you like the look? I need to do my hair. But anyway, I guess what I'm getting at here is I don't know what I'm doing, and if you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. So I'm taking an acting class because that's something, I guess, but that's what I did. I looked at all the stuff that I've always been like, okay, I'll do this at 50, and was like, maybe I should just start doing this now. So this is not my announcement that I'm becoming an actress by any means. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just think it's okay to give yourself some time and some space to just be like, let me think, and like, let me just like figure this out, and just think that it'll all come together and work itself out, and like, just, I don't know, have some faith in yourself that you're smart enough to figure it out, because I think you are. And even if I don't figure it out, that's okay. Like, even if I don't really have a plan, I don't know, I think it's more just about like moving in a direction than moving towards a goal all the time. So that's where I'm at with my summer makeup. I don't know, does this even look good? Come look at this. We got a little glossy lip, a little orange and pink eye. I don't know. In the viewfinder, I like it. I'm gonna go put a real shirt on, maybe a brassiere. Really class it up for my mom's birthday. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Times are tough, dude. And like, I think that's okay. I said this to Ira the other day because I was like, well, like, I don't know, I feel like I always do this where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like give myself a break, I'm gonna give myself some time and whatever, and then I just don't. I've gotten some like random jobs lined up for things, and I was like, okay, this isn't a permanent solution, it's not a long-term solution, but it is a good temporary one, and I think that's okay. And he was like, yeah, not everything needs to be like a long-term fix. And I was just like, yeah, you're right, and I understand that, but I don't know, I guess just like, things are already stressful enough. Why are we putting additional pressure on ourselves? Like, we just don't need to be doing that. So I hope you're not. I hope you're just letting your roots grow out and just putting some lip gloss on. Go do both those things, friends. You look great. So it's all okay if your life isn't together. No one's is. Anyone that says their shit is together is boldly lying to you. Or they have a trust fund. So on that note, thank you for making it to the end of this long ass video. I promise I'll have regular things coming soon. I hope you have a great day and a great existence. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you for watching.